Yo no tenía amigos con quien jugar, me despreciaban mucho.
Yo antes no tenía escuela.
Antes yo no conocía de Dios.
Estaba en la calle y no me daban de comer y
no tenía papás.
Pero tengo esperanza.
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 So when we first started to work with street kids, several different people had told us that the kids couldn't be reached, they couldn't be rehabilitated, they were beyond hope. And I thought about it and realized that Jesus came to the world just for that purpose. He died and he rose again, and as long as he's alive, there's hope, not just for them, but for all of us. None of them, none of us are beyond God's love and God's reach and God's compassion.
I had the privilege of growing up here and seeing the very foundation of when Esperanza began to be formed. And I remember going onto the streets with my dad and just seeing dozens of kids in situations of hopelessness and despair. They could be hurt, they could be sick, and they didn't have anyone to really take care of them. When you first receive them, they're coming out of situations of abuse and of trafficking, and the look in their eyes is just one of hopelessness and despair. After they've been here a couple weeks, you begin to see how God is healing them, not only spiritually, but also physically.
So Jesus told his disciples in Acts 1:8 that when the Holy Spirit comes upon us, we would be his witnesses in Jerusalem and all of Judea and Samaria and unto the uttermost parts of the earth. I believe one of the highest callings that we can have is to be witnesses, to represent, to show this world who Jesus is. And we can't do this by ourselves. The way that God has designed it is that we're a body. So through the Holy Spirit, we're used together to go across the face of the earth and be witnesses to Jesus Christ. And for us, we're called to be a witness unto the least of these.
For us to make a lasting difference for Christ in Mexico and even beyond, a healthy local church is an essential part of this. A church that can engage the community around it and demonstrate the love of Christ. A church that can equip its members to be the salt and light of the earth that they're called to be. And a church that leads by example, loving others every step of the way.
Where do you fit in the call to reach the nations with the gospel of Jesus? Pray. The battle is won when our spiritual enemy is driven back by the power of Jesus and his light is able to cut through the darkest of corners. Give. Provide the tools needed to meet the most basic of needs. Provide opportunities for a limitless future. Let's be intentional and generous in our giving as we face the needs we are perfectly positioned to meet. Go. Step out in faith. Come to Mexico. Step up to the calling and be empowered as you carry the message of hope to the hurting. Come and change the world.